So what is the largest, most stable, weight-bearing joint in your body? Think about it. You know the answer. It's your hips. Your hips. Among all the joints in your body, your hips just might be the most important, most essential to keep healthy for quality movement. Walking, sitting, running, moving, whatever you want to do, you got to have strong, stable hips, right? We're going to work on those today. I'm Jan. This is 316 Yoga. This is your yoga from home. This is the place where you do it your way. Be it if you have sliders or just use your little towels, you do it your way. You do it totally your way. Don't worry about what anybody else thinks. You focus on you and what feels good in your body. The bottom of the screen says, do what's right for your body. What's right for your body is not hurting it. If anything hurts, back out of it. Take it to a lesser percentage. Don't do it at all. Just breathe through it and just kind of think through, why am I moving this way? Why can't I move that way? What feels good is an alternative to get that same good sensation so I can be more flexible, more mobile, and just be stronger in my body. That's what it's all about. So don't hurt you. Okay, so it's a 1 hour long practice. Today is our Yoga Plus practice. It's yoga plus barre plus Pilates plus sculpt plus weights. So you do what you like. Every day is different in our practices. Come every single day. I'm here every day holding space for you to come and just breathe. Find time to practice that self-care. We do vinyasa practice, we do restorative practice, we do a little bit of everything, but it's all designed to make you, back to those words again, more mobile, more flexible, and stronger. Okay, the word to think about as you practice today is this one. It's value. Value is the relative worth of something in terms of other things. And what are you willing to exchange for it? What is your mobility worth to you? Oh my goodness, that's a really good question, isn't it? And that's one that mobility is really important. You'll trade just about anything. Right now you're going to trade that hour for it, and it's worth it. You've got to keep moving so you can keep moving. Don't give up. Don't quit. Do what you can with what you got. All right, props today. As I said, we're going to do sliders. We haven't done those in a long time. If you don't have sliders, here are what sliders are. They're little discs. They can work on your carpet. They can work on your floor. If you don't have sliders, just use two little hand towels. They work just as well. We're going to have hand weights because we're going to lift a little bit of weights today. We're going to have a bender ball or a mobility ball. This is called a mini stability ball. All you do is you don't inflate it all the way. It's a very thin membrane. It creates an unstable surface. If you don't have one of those, you don't have to have it. It just kind of makes the practice a little more fun. I love my eye shade for final Shavasana, 2 yoga blocks to bring the ground up to you, some water to keep you hydrated. Let's go. All right, come on up to a standing position. And as you do this, lock a stress number in your mind. Scale of 1 to 5, scale of 1 to 10. Whatever it is, give what you're feeling a number, and let's work on that number. All right, place your hands on your hips. All right, so I said we're going to work the hips today, so start to circle your hips. Think of like a hula hoop. Think of like a hula hoop and how you'd use a hula hoop. Circle your hips around and around. Breathe in through your nose and out through your mouth. Just move your hips. Be aware of your hips and take your hips in the other direction. Keep your feet planted. Maybe you're a fast hula hooper, or maybe you go a little bit slower. Just feel what you feel in your hips. Get some movement going. Now put a little bend in your knees. Take the hula hoop a little bit lower. How does that feel? Take the hula-ing with the knees bent in the other direction. Just move your hips. Wake up your knees. Finish up. Come back up to standing. Take a big extended mountain pose. Arms lift up. Take a little back bend. Hands to prayer center. Say something positive about yourself. I am magnificent. How's that? Lengthen up. Exhale, fold forward. Let your hands hang toward the earth. A little wiggle in the knees. Feels good. Let the shoulders move too and shake your neck. Roll your spine up, 1 vertebra at a time. Come on back up to standing, and when you're ready, place your hands on your hips. Let's take that confidence stance. Hips a little wide, or feet a little wider than hip width distance. Shoulders are back and down. Start to come up onto your toes, onto the balls of your feet. Keep the heel behind the toes. Try to stay nice and strong and stable in the ankles. Breathe. Big breath in through the nose. Big breath out through the mouth. Let it go. Strengthen your feet. Strengthen your foundation. You got it going on. Lift and lower. Chest stays lifted. When you're ready, plant your feet. Come onto the heels and lift your toes. Give them a wiggle. Bring the feet in a little bit if that feels more stable. Lengthen through the arms in your extended mountain. Interlace your fingers. Palms up to the sky. Start to gently sway from side to side. Chin away from the chest. Little bend in the elbows. Might feel good. Breathe in. Breathe out. Sigh it out. Come back up to your extended mountain. Let the hands float down as you exhale. Place them at your low back. Fingers can be down or fingers pointing up. Push your belly forward. Elbows squeeze toward the spine. Look up. Look up and breathe. Exhale, fold forward. Let your hands come down toward the earth. They don't have to touch the earth. Let your gaze go back toward your belly button as the crown of your head hangs toward the earth. I'm going to spread my feet a little bit wider just to feel more stable here. I'm going to wiggle my knees. Breathe in. Sigh it out. When you're ready, roll your spine up, one vertebra at a time. Come on up to standing. Let's do those big arm circles. Circle the arms to the back of the room. Put a bend in your knees when the hands come down. Arms go up, knees straighten, bend in the knees. Like you're skiing, right? Nice bend in the knees. Lift the arms. You don't have to do big arm circles. You do them as big as you like. Just try to move the shoulders a little bit. Take the arms in the other direction. Liz, I thought of you when I got the sliders out today. Tyrone, Betty, Stan, Marietta, Kelly, Rena, Margaret. Good to see you guys. All right, let's keep going here. And then we'll finish up. Bring your arms down by your sides, shoulders back and down. Take a deep breath in. And a big sighing breath out. Big coat swing. Start to twist from side to side. Look over one shoulder, then the other. Arms are heavy and loose. Tap your backside, tap your hip. Look over one shoulder, then the other. Controlled twist. When you're ready, come back to the midline of your body. Ragdoll pose. Hands to opposite elbow creases. Lengthen up through the crown of your head. Exhale, fold in half. Feet are hip width distance apart. Arms are hanging loose. Little bend in your knees. Feels good. Chin is tucked towards your chest, so the crown of your head is toward the earth. Feel the big stretch in your backside. Wiggle your toes. Plant your feet solidly on the ground. And do your ragdoll as you sway one elbow back toward one knee, then the other toward the other knee. Loosen up your low back. All right, let's finish up. Come back to the midline of your body. Release your fingers toward the earth. Let's come down for a child's pose. All right, so for your child's pose today, let's introduce the sliders or your towels. Fold the top of your mat down just a little bit, not very far, and place your sliders or your towels, either one, at the top of your mat. Bring your knees together to touch, big toes touching, hips back to your heels, and rest here. You could use a block and take your classic child's pose. Rest your head on the block or on the mat. Arms down by your sides, shoulders away from your ears. Lengthen through your spine here and just enjoy your practice your way, your child's pose. I'm going to take an alternative. I'm going to take a wide-legged child's pose. Knees spread wide, big toes touching, hips are still back to the heels. I'm going to place my hands on those sliders or on the towels, either one. Press into the sliders. Breathe in, breathe out. Sigh it out, let it go. You could place the block underneath your forehead if you like. And then just like you're scrubbing the floor, move the sliders from left to right, right to left, Take them as far as you like. Feel that big stretch on that side of your body. And if you only have one slider, one towel, it's okay. This will still work. Slide to one side, sliders back to the other. So there's your sideways movement of your spine. Let it feel good. Play with this for a little bit as you eventually come to closing your lips and breathing in and out of your nose. Lips are closed, but your jaws aren't clenched. You're taking deep breaths in through your nose and out through your nose. Nice big stretches here. And eventually make your way back to the midline of your body, the way we normally do our child's pose. Lengthen here, push a little harder into the ground. Know that you can come back to your child's pose anytime. Do whatever feels good for you. When you're ready, let's come out of the child's pose. Put your sliders or your towels aside, and you can bring the mat back to its normal position. Now we're going to come into a neutral tabletop here. In your neutral tabletop, let's do cat-cow. Tuck your chin to your chest, tuck your tailbone under. Inhale, cow, crown of the head lifts and tailbone lifts. As you exhale, you're tucking your belly towards your spine, arching your back to the sky, pushing the tops of your feet and your hands into your mat. Inhale, cow, you're doing just the opposite. Where I feel this most is in my tailbone. Tucking it under and then sending it to the sky. Tucking it under and sending it to the sky. All right, now let's do some sweeps here. Now you might just want to move back onto your mat a little bit or fold the bottom of your mat up. That'll give you some nice double cushioning under your knees. Find your sliders or your towel, one will do, and place it under your right leg as you extend it long. Press into the earth, shoulders over your wrist, knee under your hip, right leg is extended long, push your foot into that slider. When you're ready, slide the leg out and then slide it on back. That nice straight leg is going to cross the midline of your body and you're going to look over your left shoulder. Slide it out. So nothing that we haven't done before, but just doing it on the slider. It's a little quicker. It's a little more full range of motion of that leg. Bring it up as high as is comfortable for you. Maybe it's to shoulder height. Maybe you take it higher. Sweep it on around. Look over the shoulder. Look back towards your foot, your knee, your bottom. Sweep it on around. Ooh, there's a lot of mobility there. Remember, it is your largest, most stable weight-bearing joint in your entire body. Keep it moving. All right? We'll finish here. Nice sweeps. Let's take the knee, plant it on the mat. Take the foot, place that foot onto the slider, and let's do the other side. Sweep it around. And then bring it back to the other side. Look over your shoulder. Sweep it around to hip height or higher, then bring it around. Move those hips. Breathe. Slide it. Take it to what feels really good for you today. And breathe. Just get some movement going in those hips. Slide it around. So I was going to say, if you don't have sliders, everybody's got a hand towel. Just put that hand towel under there. It works just the same. On a floor, carpet, maybe a little harder. Carpet, maybe you can use a paper plate or a plastic little plate. That would work too. And when you're ready, we will finish up this movement in the hips. Come back to a neutral tabletop. When you're ready, tuck your chin under, cat pose. Inhale, cow pose. Nice work. Maybe one or two more. And then we'll do our forearm stretch. Bring your fingers towards your knees. Forearm shines forward. I'm going to leave my mat like it is just because it feels good under my knees. Start to sway your hips from side to side, feeling the stretch in the forearms. Let it feel good. You know how far you want to take it. You know what feels really good in your forearms. I'm going to send my bottom a little more back toward my heels and stretch it out there in my forearms. Just move a little bit from side to side. You know, every pose I go into, at first I feel like, ooh, I don't want to do this. And then once I do it, it's like, oh, I don't want to come out of it. So keep moving. Let it feel good for you. Appreciate what the movement is doing for you. All right, I'm going to finish up here. I'm going to wiggle my fingers, bring them back around to the front, wiggle them, and now I'm going to take bird dog pose. Now, I am going to open my mat back up. So bird dog pose and fire hydrant pose. You can use the ball or a block or a weight, but the ball is the most fun. And the balls are not that expensive. Just get it, just try it. You owe it to yourself, all right? So let's do bird dog first today. Let's place the ball underneath the right knee. Now, if you don't have the ball, totally fine. The ball creates an unstable surface. We'll use the weight or the block behind our knee in lieu of this ball when we do our fire hydrant and donkey kick. But right now, you could be on the ground or on the ball, creating this unstable surface. Tuck your right toes towards your shin. Lift your left leg up, bringing the knee to about hip height and extending the left leg long. Push hard into the earth. Your shoulders are over your wrists, lengthen through your spine so your back appears to be nice and flat. Press here, hold on. This is the unstable surface under your knee. Your left leg is lifted. Let's lift the right arm too. If that's a little much, what you could do is take your block, place it in front of your mat, and just press into it. Lift, stay strong in the core, push the earth away, hold on strong. When you're ready, elbow to knee under the navel, and then stretch. Elbow to knee, and then stretch. Elbow to knee, and then stretch, and finish. Hand comes down, knees come down, other side. Bring the ball under the other knee. Tuck the toes toward the shin. Lift up through the other leg. Maybe today you're just kind of balancing with the toes and just feeling that ball and understanding what it feels like. I'm going to lift the leg long, extend it long, drawing the toes toward the shin. Nice strong back here. Right leg is lifted, so now the left arm is going to lift. Just the opposite. Hold it, reach, stretch. Tuck elbow to knee and stretch. Elbow to knee and stretch. Elbow to knee and stretch. Reach, push the earth away and finish. Hand down, knee down. You got it. Remove the ball. That gets your heart going, doesn't it? Whew. Grab a drink of water if you want, and let's go into our fire hydrant and donkey kick. Okay, ball behind the right knee. Start to lift the leg to the side. Little dog or big dog, it's all good. Get into the hips, draw the toes toward the shin, lift and lower. Lift the leg up, good and high, and then start to pulse it up. Pulse, pulse, pulse. This is your fire hydrant pose, and we're adding a little bit of a bar movement in the pulsing here. Breathe, keep it lifted. Ankle a little higher than the knee. Focus, you got it. Let the right knee hover next to the left. Push the earth away. Lift the right leg, just like you did in your bird dog, but keep the knee bent. Knee is at hip height. Hips are equidistant to your mat. Push into your hands. Now kick your heel into your bottom. You could fold your mat over underneath your wrists if that feels better. You could also ball your hands into fists if that feels better. You know, be kind to your wrists. All right, so we're kicking our heel in toward our bottom. Let's finish up by squeezing the heel toward the bottom and lifting the foot, little teeny pulses, up to the sky. Put some effort in here. Try to lift it a little bit higher. Lift it higher and pulse. Keeping both hips equidistant to your mat. You got it. Nice and strong. Yes, you are. Finish. Hover the right knee next to the left, and then plant the right knee down. We have another side to do. Lucky us. Let's bring the ball or the weight behind the left knee. Neutral tabletop. Left toes tuck toward your shin, and then start to lift the leg to the side here. So you're staring down toward your thumbs, lifting the leg a little or a lot, realizing that you're nourishing your hips. All that little bit of synovial fluid and the movement, so good for those largest, most stable weight-bearing joint in your body. I'm gonna lift it up a little higher and I'm gonna pulse. Just pulse it up. Little teeny movements, little teeny pulses, just moving like a couple inches, if that. Ankle a little higher than the knee. Breathe. When you're ready, hover the knee next to the other knee on the ground. Lift the knee up so the hips are about so the knee is at hip height. Dial the left hip down so you're not popped up and open. Both hips are equidistant to the mat. Now kick yourself in the bottom and just keep at it. Little teeny pulses. And if you don't have the ball, totally fine. You can still do it. The ball just kind of makes it a little more fun, I think. When you're ready, squeeze that heel toward your bottom and pulse the foot up to the sky. All right, I'll talk to you for a second about what's next. We're gonna do a plank. And you can do plank any way you like. If you're new to the practice and new to planking, keep pulsing your foot. Why not? You might want to lie on your back, press your hands up toward the sky, and act as if, the ceiling were your ground. That's one way of doing your plank. You could go back to that child's pose, hinge the weight more forward into the arms, and just hold there. Totally fine. You could take it on your knees, or you can send your knees back. All right, let's finish here. Hover the left knee next to the right. Send your left knee down to the earth. Let's take that wide-legged child's pose. Bring the ball to the top of your mat. Remember what we did with the sliders? We'll do the same with the ball. Big toes touch, hips back to your heels. Enjoy this mobility here. Place your hands on the ball if you want, and just move the ball a little bit from left to right. Breathe in, breathe out. We set a timer for our plank. It'll be 1 minute long. Lots of variations you can take. You do what feels good to you. Here's one that you could do. I'm going to remove the ball. Start to get ready for your plank, everybody. Arms can reach long. You can hinge forward and stay right here. More weight in the arms, feeling the strength there. Totally fine. Legs could go long, but knees still stay down. You could tuck your toes under and come up to a high plank. You could stay down on your knees, come down to your forearms, elbows under your shoulders, and stay right here. Or again, pop up from the knees. What I'm going to do today is I'm going to use the sliders. All right, oh boy, here's what we're going to do. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to fold the mat in half again, or close to it. I'm going to find the sliders, or your towels would work too. Bring them to the bottom of your mat, and I'm going to take a high plank on these. And then I'm going to do a couple different things. I'll talk you through it if you want to join me. I'm going to hinge forward here. I'm going to ask Dwayne to set the 1 minute timer, and here we go. All right, you can look at the timer if you want. You decide. I'm going to hold a plank on my sliders. I'm going to work my feet apart and back together. Totally up to you, like little plank jacks. So you decide. Pull the sliders out, pull them back. If you want to take a break, you take a break anytime you want. Come down to the knees or bring the legs back to a natural position. You could step off of your sliders and take a downward facing dog. I'm going to go back onto the sliders and do the plank jacks. Knees out to the side, back and forth. All right, we're halfway there. You got this. We're more than halfway there. You can do it. All right, I'm going to extend my legs long in my high plank. Then I'm going to draw both legs up toward my waist and come into a pike. Then I'm going to send my legs long. We've got 13 seconds to go. Bring both legs up. Bottom goes up to the sky. Send them long again. Hold it. Breathe. 5 seconds. I'm going to do one more. Pull the legs up. Bottom to the sky. Come back to your high plank. Come back to your knees. All done. Okay. There's the use of your sliders. Maybe you did it faster. Maybe you did it slower. Maybe you didn't do it at all. I'm going to grab a drink. All right. It's all good. You just try. Try a little bit. A little bit every day makes a big difference. All right, let's go. So we did our plank, different variation. Whichever plank variation you did is awesome. I'm going to undo my mat, and I really do mean that. I'm not just saying, whatever you did is great. If you're lying on your back, pushing up to the sky, you showed up. That's the biggest thing. And you acknowledge that you want to try. Trying is the most important thing after showing up. All right, take your ball, place it behind your low back. Lean on back. Ooh, feel your core here. Lean on back to where it's comfortable, where you feel the effort, where you could pull this ball out fairly easily, but you're holding on. The ball gives you a nice little extra stability. If you don't have the ball, just lean on back until you feel tightness in your core. That's what's going to hold you up here. Knees, let's bend them. Soles of the feet on your mat, underneath your knees. All right, hands to prayer center. You can pulse up here. Hands to prayer center. Come back to your mantra. What did we say today? I am wonderful. I am strong. I am here. That's important. All right, I'm going to reach my hands between my legs as if, in that wide-legged seated forward fold. Not in the seated forward fold. How we lift up like we're giving someone a gift right in front of us. Rise on up and lean on back. Maybe you come higher, maybe you go lower, but be in control. Don't take advantage of the bounce on the ball. Be in control. Let's take our hands and surround your right knee, up and back, up and back. Breathe. You get out of it what you put into it. Really work your core. Let your core be lifting you. No momentum here. Come back to the center. Breathe. Deep breaths. Other side, hands surround the left knee. Little lifts, little lowers. You've got it. Nice. Stay strong. Don't give up. Don't quit. Come back to center. Open your knees wider. Bring the soles of your feet to touch. Reach, reach, reach. You got it. How are you doing? All right. Let's come up to a seated position. Remove the ball. Come down onto your back. Once you're down, send your left leg long, bend your right knee. Hug your right knee in. Hug it in, draw your toes towards your shin. Other leg, left leg is straight on your mat. Drive your heel more toward the bottom of the mat by sending your toes towards your shins. Hug it in, squeeze it in, release the right leg. Do the same on the left. Right leg is long. Left knee hugs in, good and tight. Do the same, alternate. Now, if you like, peel your shoulders up, send your legs a little bit off of the mat as you hug one in and send the other one long. Keeping toes drawn towards the shin. Single leg pull-ins. Thank you, Pilates. Breathe, pull it in, pull it in. Good and tight. You got it. All right, you can keep your shoulders down or you can recline your shoulders all the way to the mat. Send both legs long, hug both knees in. Send both legs long, send your arms overhead, bend your elbows, hug into your knees. Hug them in, squeeze into a ball. Send your legs long, arms reach. Keep at it. Good. Little bit of a boat-like scoop, right? Reach the arms, hug the knees in. Extend, draw them out. You got it. Don't forget, really hug them in, good and strong. Your core is strong. Stick with it. When you're ready, let's come to fully reclined stick pose. Arms high overhead, palms touching, toes pointing this time toward the bottom of your mat. Big breath in. Big breath out. Arms float down. Gotta do Pilates hundreds, right? Soften your shoulders away from your ears. When you're ready, here's what you can do. You can lift your arms and start to pat the ground. If you're focusing just on this, keep your shoulders away from your ears and pat, pat, pat the ground. Maybe you lift the shoulders up and you lift one leg and hold it here. It's all good. It's all little steps that get you on the path to where you need to be, where you want to be, getting stronger, getting more mobile, getting more flexible. Maybe lift both legs up and do your Pilates hundreds. Shoulders away from the ears. Breathe. Focus. You can do it. Don't bother counting unless you want to, but you can do it however long is right for you. Don't be focused so much on the number. Relax your low back, breathe, and just pat the ground. I know some of you count. Rosemary, I know you always count. That's good. That's fine. You do you. Totally good. I'm gonna lift my legs a little higher and keep patting. Breathe. Strong core. Let's finish. Come on down. Legs come down. Remember, stick pose. Do it again. Reach your fingers long. Point your toes long. Stretch. Breathe. Dead bug pose. All right, it seems to be more passive, but it is anything but a passive pose. Bend your knees. Lift your feet up, knees over hips, shins parallel to the earth. Press your hands into your thighs really hard. Then your thighs back into your hands. Draw your toes towards your shins. Tight squeeze everywhere. Thighs are coming closer, closer towards your chest, and your arms are pushing them farther, farther away. Stay strong here. Embrace the shake, because the shake will happen. Stay strong in the arms. Stay strong in the legs. Stay strong in the core. You got it. Breathe. Hold it. Tighter. One more really hard, tight squeeze. And then finish. Legs float down. Soles of the feet touch. Knees open wide. Strike that reclined goddess pose. All right, arms release. Forearms parallel to the sides of your mat. Elbows are down. Your arms look like a goalpost. Soles of the feet touch. Knees are open wide. Think of those knees melting closer and closer to the earth as you open up in the hips. Goddess pose. Take a deep breath in and a deep breath out. All right, so your hips also have your psoas. Your psoas wraps around front to back. It's those bands in the front on your hips that we work when we do our lunge, which we're going to do in just a second. But your psoas, when you stretch your psoas, it helps release tension and stress in your bodies. Many of us, most of us, especially women, hold tension in our hips. Men a little more so in the shoulders, but they do the hips too. Think about it. You know, when you're tense, you kind of tighten up in the shoulders and you kind of tighten up in the gut and you kind of tighten up in the hips, and then that feeling, that sensation, if you don't relax it, stays, and it becomes your new norm, which isn't much fun. All right, so let's come out of this goddess-like pose, or stay here if you want. We're gonna do the lunge like I promised. Bring your knees together to touch. Maybe your legs go long. Maybe your arms float down as you use your core to come up to seated. Find your 2 yoga blocks. All right. Big psoas stretcher. This one in that pontoon pose, which we do sometimes too. Great for the front of your hips and hip mobility. So come to standing on your knees, grab your blocks. Right foot forward, knee over ankle. If you don't have blocks, you can still do this. Blocks make it a little more accessible because the blocks bring the ground up to you. I'm gonna send my left leg long on my mat. That's the ticket here. Leg goes long. Maybe fold your mat over so your knee is padded. You're gonna press on up with or without the blocks. Have your right knee over your right ankle. Come up as high as feels comfortable for you. You wanna feel a big stretch in that psoas. All right, so here's the deal. Maybe you're really tight today. Stay where you can. Stay where you need to be. Don't sweat it. Just come back and try. If you could do it all, you wouldn't need to do any of it, right? You need to stay strong. You need to keep at it. Lift your arms up high to the sky. Work your fingers back toward the back of the room. Hold it here in your psoas stretch, in your little baby back bend. Push the feet into the mat. It helps keep you stable. Bring your hands back to prayer center and your shoulders over your hips. Maybe hands come down to the blocks and we'll surf. Straighten the right leg and rebend the right leg. Straighten it, use the blocks to walk back and forth. Feel the good stretch, not only in the left hip, but those knees, the right knee especially. Let's bend the left knee even more by coming to sit back on our heel. Toes of the right foot up toward the sky. How does it feel? Take it as far as you can. Take it as far as you want. Take it only as far as feels right. You can use the blocks or no blocks at all. Maybe hands stay at prayer center as you lift and lower at a nice, slow, controlled speed because you got a strong core going on. All right, I'm gonna switch legs. Right knee meets left on the mat. Left legs turn to come forward. Left knee over left ankle. Push into the blocks. Here's probably the most important part of the pose. Sending the right leg long, having the top of the right foot on the mat, feeling the stretch in that right hip flexor. Come on up, shoulders over your hips. Breathe here. Baby back bend, if that is in your practice today. Doesn't have to be in your practice every day. Doesn't ever have to be in your practice. You do what's right for you. Mantra time. And let's surf. Straighten the leg and rebend it. So that's really all you got to think about, is straightening the left leg and rebending it. Use the props as you like. Maybe go back even farther. And maybe don't use the props at all as you come forward and back at your pace. Breathing. Always remember to breathe. Don't hold your breath. That's not good. All right, tension in the hips. We are blowing it away. All right, when you're ready, let's finish here and let's come to both knees. When you're ready, grab your weights and let's come on up to standing. All right, in your standing pose. Let's do these weights. I think it'll help us when we do our balancing. Bring your weights to your shoulders. When you're ready, bring the weights overhead. Hi, camera, please. Lift up and weights to shoulders. Lift up and weights to shoulders. Maybe when your weights go up, you come up onto the balls of your feet. Find some balance here. Maybe you're using one weight at a time. That's fine. Maybe you'd like to hold on to a chair and lift one weight at a time. You decide how you want to do it. But just have that little bit of resistance, that little bit of weight. Doesn't take a whole lot to see results, but it does take consistency. All right, you're lifting and lowering the weights. Hands are in, palms are in towards your ears. Maybe you're coming up onto the balls of your feet or not. Maybe it's getting so comfortable you're not even thinking about coming up onto the feet. It's just a natural thing. Come down to your feet. Bring your palms toward the front of the room. Bring your elbows to shoulder height. Kind of like goalpost your arms like we did reclined a little bit ago. Just little teeny pulses. Up, up, up. I guess it's up and down with the little teeny pulses. Breathe, stay strong. Strong upper back. When you're ready, still the arms. Pulse the elbows. Back, back, back. Breathe. Stay strong. These are just little 3-pound weights, but I am feeling them. Have a little bit of something in your hands. Maybe it's a water bottle. Maybe it's your blocks. But just get used to a little bit of resistance. Breathe, breathe, breathe. Let your arms float down by your sides. Feel how good it feels to have those weights in your hands to pull your shoulders away from your ears. Many of us go around with our shoulders up near our ears. Don't have shoulder earrings. Have the shoulders down. Let the weights encourage the arms down. Let that stretch feel good. Bring your palms toward the front of the room. Keep your elbows hugged in towards your waist. Start to lift in your little bicep curls here. Bringing the weight up towards your armpit and then bringing it down. Take it nice and slow. When the hands come down, feet are down. Maybe when the weights come up, you come onto the balls of your feet. Up and down and up, little bicep curls. Maybe you don't want to mess with the feet at all. Maybe you want to do one bicep, then the other. It's all good. Just kind of distracting you a little bit with options and alternatives. All right, breathe. Breathe in, breathe out. You got it. All right, when you're ready, bring the weights down by your sides. Let your arms float on out. Take it nice and slow. Tee out the arms. Little teeny pulses up here. Breathe, chest is lifted. Little teeny pulses of the weights, up, up, up. Now pulse them back, back, back. Oh, let that feel good in your upper shoulders. Breathe. When you're ready, lift the weights all the way up overhead. Maybe just take one weight and ditch the other one. Bring your elbows close to your ears and then do your tricep stretches. Reach the arms up to the sky. Let the arms come back behind your neck. You feel it in the triceps, don't you? Breathe. Lifting weights. We've got to lift weights. Don't think lifting weights is going to give me He-Man strength. Lifting weights keeps your muscles strong, keeps your bones strong. And the older we get, the more we got to do it. But you don't have to lift tons of weight. Get a set of 1 pound weights and just start. It's all good. So there's your tricep stretch. Let's work on the balance a little bit here. Bring your arms down by your sides. Come up onto the balls of your feet, but keep your shoulders back. The real tendency is to kind of lean forward like you're on a diving board. Let's bring our shoulders back. Let the weights float down toward the earth. Hold it here up on your toes. Drinking bird. Weights toward your armpits, then down. But you're on the balls of your feet this time. Work your balance. Breathe. As you're ready, let the arms go back, nice and straight to the back of the room, and pulse them up to the back of the room. Pulse them up to the back of the room, then pulse them in toward your low back. Chest is open. Oh, it really feels open here. When you're ready, let the weights float down by your side and stay up on the balls of your feet. Maybe you notice that the weights give you greater stability. Maybe they allow you to come up a little higher on the balls of your feet and sink a little lower in your knees. Just hold it here for a second. Now pulse up and down in the thighs, staying on the balls of your feet or coming down flat onto your feet. It's all good. Breathe. You got it. We're doing the hard stuff first with the balancing. Maybe you'll discover, that our other balancing poses are a little more accessible after this. You gotta challenge yourself, gotta shake it up. Plant the soles of your feet, come back up to standing. Exhale, fold forward. Let your weights be in your hands as you look down towards your knees, up towards your belly buttons. Shake your arms a little bit. Let those weights feel good. Then remove the weights. Roll your spine up, 1 vertebra at a time. Come on up to standing. In your standing pose, hips, they provide you with balance, and they also provide you with support for your upper body. So balancing is so important. Hands to prayer center. Take a deep breath in. And a deep breath out. You're rock solid on the ground. Lift your arms up. Tadasana, extended mountain. Arms are lifted. Let's up the challenge. Let's add in our leg. Lift your leg up, bringing the knee to about hip height. About hip height. You take it to what works for you. Draw the toes towards your shin. Push into your foundational foot. Lift a little higher. You've got it. Hold it in your one-legged mountain. Let's let the arms float down. Interlace the fingers and bring them under the right knee. Hug the knee in a little bit more. Hold it here. Circle the ankle one way. Circle the ankle the other way. When you're ready, the hand that is on the side of the bent leg, open it up to the side of the room. The other hand can be on your hip. You can tee it out if you want. Hold it. Now release the knee. Hold the knee at hip height. Bring the knee, bring the foot down. So you're in a tree pose. So push the foot into the ankle or the calf, or even higher if you want. Hands to prayer center. Hold it here. Rest here for a moment. Grow your branches if you like. Look up to where the ceiling and the wall meet. Sway your branches. Rest in your tree pose. Hands back to prayer center. Guide the knee to the front of the room. Let the foot meet the other foot on the ground. Other side. Arms lift and reach. Extended mountain. Left leg or other leg lifts. Knee to hip height. Toes to the shin. Hold here in your one-legged mountain. Look up to where the ceiling and the wall meet. Find your focus. Don't look at me. I move too much and you could lose your balance. Just focus on you. Look up, breathe. I'm gonna let the arms float down. Interlaced fingers beneath the knee. Draw the toes toward the shin, shoulders over the hips. Nice tight hold here. Open up that knee to the side of the room. Maybe tee out the other arm. I think this is a gate pose. Hold it. Let the leg release, hands release from the leg. Hold it. Let the foot float down to on the calf or the ankle. Hands back to to prayer center. You're back in a comfortable tree pose here. Arms reach, maybe branches sway, and then finish. Hands float back, knee to the front of the room, foot means foot. You got it. All right, when you're ready, let's take a forward fold here. Forward fold, hands toward the earth, look back towards your knees, little bend in the knees, little wiggle in the knees, wiggle in the shoulders, shake the crown of the head, shake the head, shake the neck, lift the toes, give them a wiggle, and then bend the knees, come on down to your mat. All right, so a very familiar balancing pose, right? Tree pose, one-legged mountain, Tadasana. We do all of those comfortably, normally, right? So today we just kind of shook up the order a little bit and up to the challenge. All right, so grab a block. We're gonna go into a bridge pose and then pontoon to stretch those hips again. All right, soles of the feet are on your mat. Lean on back, bring your block with you and hold it. Hold it as you lean on back as if you were in a beach recliner. Send your shoulders back, chest is lifted, hold it. You got it, strong core. Let's lower down all the way to your mat. Take your block and you can do a couple of things. If you wanna do a restorative bridge, here's what you could do. You can press the weight into the soles of your feet. Lift on up. You could slip that block underneath your hips and rest here. You got to figure out where the block feels really comfortable. That's the right spot. I'm not going to use the block in a restorative bridge. I'm going to lift my hips even higher, and I'm going to lift my right leg up to the sky. Take that restorative pose if you want. I'm going to pulse the right foot up, up, up to the sky, pushing hard into my left foot. Now I'm going to draw little circles with my right foot. I'm going to draw bigger circles with my right leg. Take the circles big in the opposite direction and work them smaller, smaller, and then pulse the right foot up to the sky. I'm going to plant the right foot next to the left, re-engage my bridge pose, lifting my hips high. Left leg lifts, pulse it up, 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 up to the sky. Little teeny circles drawing in one direction. Start to get bigger. Arms can be down by your sides or teed out. Whatever feels good. Draw the big circles in the other direction, making them smaller, 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 and then pulse it up, up, up. Left foot meets right on the mat. Hips go good and high, keep it here. All right, so let's do the pontoon pose. You can use one block or two and place it at its stable height underneath your bottom. Now, if you're in that restored bridge, join us in pontoon by just extending your legs long. Feel the nice even stretch on both hip flexors here. Breathe in. Breathe out, let it go. Feels great, right? Feels great. All right, when you're ready, stay here if you want. I'm gonna come out, soles of the feet on the mat, lifting the hips up, removing the block. I'm gonna press on up to seated. I'm gonna strike that seated deer pose. Both knees are bent and both knees are kind of going in the same direction. I'm gonna take the ball and place it behind my top leg, if you will, and I'm gonna lean into my opposite arm. I'm gonna lift the ball and the leg and squeeze it, squeezing it in and pulsing it up. So alternate, pulsing it up and squeezing it in, pulsing it up and squeezing it in. Nice little deer pose with the ball. Other side. Both knees bend in the opposite direction. Ball behind your knee. No ball at all. You can still do it. There's always a way to do it. I'm going to lift the leg and maybe that's enough. Start to pulse the heel in towards your bottom. Breathe. Oh my goodness. Now pulse the leg up, up, up. Pulse it in. Pulse it up. In and up. Nice. Let's finish here. Bring your legs on down. Come onto your back. Take your eye shade or your towel up toward your shoulders for your final Shavasana pose. Let's do a reclined pigeon with a foothold. So come all the way down, nice and slowly. All right, Pigeon pose. We sometimes do it on our knees. Tuesdays and Saturdays, we do that often. Yesterday, I think it was, we did the reclined pigeon like I'm doing now. Always an option. So come back every day. I'll show you alternatives to make every pose accessible to you in every practice. So all right, knees are bent, right leg I lift, bringing the outside of the right ankle onto the left thigh. I'm going to drive the outside of the right knee away. I'm going to take my hands and pull the right foot in a little bit more. I'm going to pull it in, maybe bringing the right foot up toward the left hip crease. So the knee is really bent here. I'm going to push the right leg away and just hold it here. Let it feel great. And then release the right leg down. So both knees are bent, both feet are on the mat. Just kind of recalibrate here. Lift the left leg, cross it over. Take your right hand, pull the foot in a little bit more, bringing maybe the heel to the right hip crease. You hold it however feels good. Left hand is going to press the inner left thigh open. My tailbone stays down on the mat. And just breathe, just breathe. You don't want shallow breath, you know that. Hold onto the foot, press the inner left leg open. Now let's bring the left foot down, send both legs long on the mat just for a moment. Let's do a half happy baby. Keep your left leg long, bend your right knee, interlaced fingers, bring the knee up toward the armpit. When you're ready, you can reach your right hand to the outside of your right foot and then extend that leg up to the sky. Keep your left leg long, rebend the right knee, re-extend the right leg. I'm holding on to the outside of my foot. That's different than what we normally do in our full happy baby where we hold the inside of the foot. But you know what? You do what feels right for you. Maybe you prefer the inside. It's a little different stretch. Try it and see. All right, so maybe you hold the toes, bend it, and send it up to the sky. Maybe you don't hold anything. Maybe you're just bending it and sending it up. Right leg down, left leg's turned, bend the left leg, interlace fingers, hug it in toward the armpit. Left hand is going to grab the outside of the left foot. I'm going to keep my shoulders down. I'm going to extend the leg up, keeping the right leg straight and rebending the left leg. Just a little different, right? I think sometimes you get in a rut doing this. We all know. I don't think sometimes. I know sometimes we get in a rut and we don't do things differently. So just try this on for size. Half happy baby. Let your left leg float down. Bend both knees, hug them up toward your chest, rock a little bit from side to side. Come to stillness, legs go long, final Shavasana. Arms down by your sides, eye shade can cover the eyes. Palms face up, because you're ready for new adventures. Tuck your shoulders under, take a deep breath in, and a big sighing breath out. Let it go. All right, so this is where you choose. You hit the pause button on your remote, and you get to choose how long you stay in your final Shavasana pose. And then whenever you're ready, you just hit play again and meet us back here. Take a deep, refreshing breath in and a big sighing breath out. Wiggle your fingers and your toes. Circle your wrists and your ankles. Inhale, arms reach overhead, stretch, point your toes, reach your fingers. Bend your knees, bend your elbows as you exhale and roll into a fetal position onto one side or the other. Low arms bicep is a pillow for your head, top shoulder soft. Breathe in, breathe out. As you're ready, float on up because you can float. You've got a strong core. Sit comfortably. I'm going to sit in that deer pose again. Hands to prayer center. Come back to your little mantra, your positive statement about you. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, settle. Blink your eyes open. Congratulations, you did it. Your largest, most stable, weight-bearing joints in your body, your hips, and everything else appreciates you for this movement. Took a stress number in the beginning. What was it? Now what is it? The what is what's important. Forget the past. You are what you are in this moment, and you're feeling pretty good. So fill your minds with all those good things that deserve your praise. Things that are true, things that are noble, things that are right, pure, lovely, and honorable. Focus on those things. And that stress number, nice and low. The yoga works. See you on your mats tomorrow. Love you guys. Have a great weekend. Bye. Hello, you want to go for a walk? Good girl. See ya. My hips feel good. I can go for a walk. You're still here, and I'm really glad for that. Keep this in mind. The path is made through repetition. Keep showing up, and good things will happen. You know that. I'm glad that you're still sticking around. Tell your friends what the yoga's doing for you. Our yoga is free for anybody and everybody on Facebook and YouTube, and they can join in anytime from the privacy of their own home. Tell them about our practice, please. If you'd like to support our broadcast, you can visit our website. It's www.316yoga.com. Stay on your path, enjoy your yoga, and have a great rest of your day. See you on your mats tomorrow.